Thank you. For the debate, the member for Essex.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. From the outset, I'd like to congratulate my colleague, the member from Hamilton, East Stony Creek, Mr. Miller. In his preamble to his bill, he said when he was first elected in 2007, he told the NDP leader at that time that he wanted to make this issue a priority and something that he championed. And I can tell you firsthand, Speaker, that he has certainly done that during his tenure as a member. I can recall, I don't even know if he does recall, but Mr. Miller came down to my neck of the woods in Windsor and Essex County during a situation that evolved around a company called a Ramco. Do you remember that? And it was a situation where the company had declared bankruptcy, was attempting to liquidate all of its assets without obviously paying its debt to the workers and abdicating its responsibility, whether it be pensions or benefits. And so the workers occupied the two plants, and you know, labor activists from all around gathered, and Paul was right there, as was I. And we talked about pensions. We talked about the need to protect pensions and the lack of legislative accountability and legislative fortitude, I guess, to back up workers who find themselves in these predicaments. And of course, I certainly have seen them in my region. General Chemical is one that stands out, where workers were left high and dry when the company left the town of Amherstburg, continued its operations, profitable operations in the United States, but again left workers at the bottom of the list when it came to their obligations around pensions. It precipitated, specifically in Amherstburg, it precipitated the federal leader of the NDP at that time, Jack Layton, to make it a priority to address the issue at the federal level, where a bill was put forward that would have called on the federal government to change the rules so that workers would be paid first upon insolvency or bankruptcy. It was called the Workers First Bill, and I actually campaigned during the 2008 campaign on that policy, and it resonated. Not only did it resonate with pensioners or those who are about to retire, but it resonated with young people, Mr. Speaker, because you know, those who are looking to enter the job market understand right now that things are so dire that older workers have to remain in the workforce because they don't have defined benefit plans and they don't feel secure in their workplaces, and they know that at any moment, even though they've contributed to a pension plan their entire careers, it could be wiped out. So there is so much insecurity out there, Mr. Speaker. One of the metrics that we saw today, I don't know if anyone's referenced it, but today, just this morning, as I woke up and I turned on CBC News World, they told me that the top 86 income earners in the country, the richest 86 Canadians, have the combined wealth of the poorest 11 million in the country. There is a disparity there between the rich and the poor that continues to grow that really begs us to pay attention to what workers face, and of course what older workers in particular face. The pension benefit guarantee and the reforms that my colleague is proposing today, the pension benefit guarantee, I see it as a backstop, a pension of last resort when all else has failed. The government, in its wisdom, at one point or another, decided that we had to be there. We had to come up with something to backstop the failures of pension plans out there in the private sector when they did fail. And of course, various incarnations of the Pension Benefit Guarantee Fund have been around. We saw in the mid-90s where they deemed some of the contributors to the Pension Benefit Guarantee too big to fail. I guess times were good, but then we saw that was a mistake. We saw that when we allowed some flexibility in the contributions to the Pension Benefit Guarantee Fund, it didn't necessarily equal out to profitability or security of those larger corporations. So we should never go there again, I submit, Mr. Speaker. But what we should recognize is that since the fund was set up, times have changed, things have gotten more expensive, and the needs and requirements of seniors and retirees in this province have become greater. It is why I'm pleased to support the reforms that are proposed by my colleague, the member from Hamilton East Stony Creek, in raising that $1,000 a month guarantee to $2,500. Speaker, I want to acknowledge, and maybe just as a last note, this is an issue that is far-reaching and broad in its scope in terms of retirees. This isn't simply, private sector, blue-collar workers. These are white-collar workers in large multinationals that are fearful of their pension plans. I have a letter here from Cody Cooper from my area, who is doing a lot of great work with the Chrysler retirees, the Council of Chrysler Canada Retirees Organization Board of Directors. Cody Cooper, Harold Daw, Don Kribich, Lou Ayena, Kathy Hartig, Joe Bavacqua. These guys are men and women are raising the issue of pension security, and they're calling on a minimum solvency rate for private pension plans out there at 90%. We need to do that. We need to ensure that they're calling on that we require the pension benefit guarantee fund limits be increased to $2,500, which is what my friend's bill does. They're calling on that we require employers to communicate actuarial valuations of their plans annually, and that these are communicated to plan members no later than 6 months from the period end. In the province of Ontario, Speaker, there has been an undue delay in meaningful implementation of some rather basic recommendations with respect to accountability, reporting and transparency. These folks submit that there's no better time than now to address those issues. I just want to give them a shout out, thank them for doing this. I hope that they're paying attention and seeing that New Democrats take the issue of pension security and income security seriously. And with the swift passage of this bill by my friend from Hamilton East Stony Creek, we can ensure that there is that security that's so desperately needed. Thank you, Speaker.